Hey everybody, welcome back to another After Effects CS6 tutorial. I'm your host, Buddy Blackford, and this tutorial I want to go over point lights. And I wanted to show you something real quick that doesn't really have to do with lights, but I just wanted to show you this cool website I found out while doing these tutorials. It was called Unsplash, and it's just unsplash.com, and I'll go to the top real quick, and it's just free high resolution photos. You can just do whatever you want with them, and you don't even have to credit them if you don't want to. But I think this website is pretty cool. I'm going to take some of my photos off here and use them in After Effects to show you guys what's going on here. See, I pulled this guy out of there because I thought it would be useful in this section here. But that's for that. I just thought that was a really cool resource that you guys could use if you were wondering how to get some nice high resolution photos to work on, and you can follow along if you would like. So I created a point light here by going to Layer, New, Light, and then I just changed the light type to point. So now I'm going to double click on my point light here and go over some of what a point light is all about. So a point light, you can think of it as a light bulb that's just flying around in space pretty much. It's just hanging there in space, no lampshade on it or anything, just the bulb. And it has some fall off just like a spotlight, but it casts shadows and everything, and you can use it to affect a broader area than a spotlight. So you can also change the color if you want to. So if you want to set like a kind of a more dreary, I guess, mood, a dreamy mood, I guess, put it in that color. Actually, purple is kind of dreamy. So you can change the intensity here. And if you put it down to 0 without any other lights in there, it's going to be nothing. So the intensity can be really high, and if you put it really high, it can blow some of the colors out. And it also has fall off, like I mentioned, where you can make the fall off going out like this, and it creates a vignette on your scene. And then you have the distance and everything, just like the spotlight. The point light also casts shadows. You must remember to have cast shadows on the layer that is in front, and to have accept shadows on the layer that you want the shadows to be casted onto. So I'll just go over that real quick for you. Now open up this is my picture that I'm using, is called The Guy Standing, and I'm going to twirl down and come into the material options, and you want to make sure that Accept Shadows is on and Accept Lights is on, and this is for casting shadows. I'm going to turn on this layer right here, and I have this object that's in front of in between the light and the background layer, and I'm going to twirl down here to the material options and make sure that cast shadows is on. Now I can come into my light options and change the casting shadows to on. Wait for it to render out a second, and now I've got a shadow that is being cast. You can change your darkness of your shadow and the diffusion of the shadow, which is more like kind of like the blurriness of the shadow and how far out it kind of goes. So I'm going to turn the shadows off because it doesn't look good when it's like blasted out like that onto here. It was just an example. And a point light can act sort of like a spotlight if you want it to, by moving the position of the light. So I'm going to turn off this vector here, and I'm going to bring this point light really close to the picture by going into two views, and this picture here, I'll go into the top view and we'll just bring it closer using the position. now we have here is kind of like a different kind of light going on here. So maybe you want to superimpose a moon in the back here, and you can put this light right on, and it barely kind of like lights up the scene. Now if I want to change my intensity down, it's going to only light up like certain parts. Now it's not as it's not as, I can't think of the word, it's not as constrained, I guess, as the spotlight, where you can have like the spotlight be like right on this and have like a circle right here, but it does kind of illuminate only a little bit if you pull it close. If I pull it really close, then that's about as good as you can get there. And if you go past it, it turns all the way black because now it's not being illuminated anymore. If you move back, more of this will get illuminated until you move too far back, and then obviously it gets less illuminated as you're farther back. You can just turn up the intensity if you need to go farther back to create like new effects, new looking, cool looking effects with your light. Now that's all that there is for the spotlight settings and how spotlights work. So in the next tutorial I'll go over the parallel light, and we can see how that works differently than the spot and cone lights. So look forward to seeing you at that tutorial. Leave a comment if you have any comments you want to let me know of. Thumbs up the videos if you like them, and thumbs down them if you really hate them. So, and leave me some feedback if you really hate them, and I don't mind. I take constructive criticism just fine. Been in the industry for a while, and pretty much everything you do is never right on the first try, so there's always criticism. And just take it with an open mind, and don't fall in love with your work, because you know you're going to have to change it all the time. So see you guys later on the next tutorial, and have a good day.